Swift is a stylist and he does not attack directly but in a veiled manner. Gulliver's Travels is the most famous of all Swift's work. It is an allegorical work and we find bitter and ironic style. There is a grim tragedy. First voyage of Gulliver's Travel is a political allegory. In this part, Swift is satirizing the manner in which the political offices were distributed among the candidates by the English king of Swift's time. In this voyage, we find a number of allusions of contemporary political personalities and events. Many figures seem to be imaginary to us were based on real persons. Flimnap the Terrier represents Sir Robert Walpole, who was the Prime Minister of England from 1715 to 1716 and again from 1721 to 1742. Dancing on a tightrope symbolizes Walpole's skill in parliamentary method and political intrigues. Similarly, Walrus represents Lord Carteret, who was appointed by Walpole to the office Lieutenant of Ireland. Again, the phrase one of King's cushion, George Mistress, who helped to restore Walpole to favour after his fall in 1717. The ancient temple in which Gulliver is housed in Lilliput probably referred to Westminster Hall in which Charles I had been condemned to death. The research of Gulliver by Lilliputians may have some reference to a committee which had been formed by the Whigs to investigate the conduct of the previous government. The use of three ribbons is also allegorical. These threads were awarded as prizes to the winner of various contests. Refer to the various distinctions which were conferred by the king on his favorites. The incidents of extinguishing a fire is another example of what is called allegory. It relates Swift's circumstances in life. Through this incident, Swift describes his annoyance with Queen Anne. He attacks religious abuse in his book A Tale of Tub, which has been misinterpreted by the Queen as an attack on religion itself. Another instance of allegorical style in this voyage, the conflict is between the big Indians and the little Indians. This represents a conflict between Catholics and Protestants. The conflict between high heels and low heels is also symbolic. It represents the two political parties, Tories and Whigs in England. Thus, the story of Gulliver's Travels first voyage is really a kind of political allegory. In part 2, we meet the people of Brobdingnag, who are giants in stature. They represent a glaring contrast to the pygmies of Lilliput. In this voyage, not only the men and women but also the animals become the target of Swift's style. Swift is general here, but we find some allegorical points. The king of this country becomes the mouthpiece of Swift. Swift gives a general criticism by the king. The story of Gulliver's country is only a heap of conspiracies, rebellions, and banishments. Here Swift ridicules the pride and pretensions of human beings. Human beings have such lofty ideas about themselves, but in reality they are not better than insects in the eyes of the king. In this voyage, the beggar of the Brobdingnag represents the beggar in the city of Dublin. The sight of ugliness represents the corruption in human bodies. The third voyage of this book contains serious elements of allegorical style. Here Swift attacks upon the intellectuals, mathematicians and astronomers of his time. We are amused by the useless experiments and searches which are going on in the Academy of Lugado. Actually, Swift wants to satirize the longings and work of immortality. In the fourth part, Yahoos and Houyhnhnms are symbolic and representative characters. It is a bitter satire on human race to represent Houyhnhnm as being superior mentally and morally to the Yahoos. Here we also find an allegorical style on the ministers Gulliver wants to expose, the evils of war and wickedness of lawyers and judges. The criticism is allegorically intended as a criticism of human race. The main quality of Houyhnhnms is reason, which human beings, according to Swift, do not value enough. Through these animals, foolish voices, corruptions, ever in all, their absurdities, deformities, and horror are exposed. In short, we can confidently remark that Gulliver's Travel is really an allegorical style Swift has given deeper meanings below the surfaces. We find allegorical glimpses in all the voyages of Gulliver, and all the characters in the book are symbolic. He has given historical references and criticizes historical personalities, event systems, and institutes, which give us a proof that Gulliver's Travel is really an allegorical work. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, like the video, and one thing more, your suggestions and feedback is also very important. So comment below giving your suggestions. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.